first thing I want to ask you is about these kids out here pitching. We just had a young man. You shut it down because he had a little shoulder stuff. How can these kids keep their arms good for the duration of the season?
Well, I feel that just the key with that D is just proper mechanics and making sure that the arm has less to do to get through and getting to what we call foot strike and making sure the arm is up to create a downward angle. Because there's so many guys that have had Tommy John surgery that the arm is kind of overworking itself and it's overcompensating to get through. So that takes a lot of stress on the UCL, labrum, and the rotator cuff.
What do you tell your guys after they've pitched? Do you ice, you heat?
Well, I like my guys to ice. It just depends. It depends on how long you ice, 10 to 15 minutes, and making sure they get a lot of running in. Swimming is good too for good conditioning for the arm as well.
Okay, as far as DM pitching goes, you are what we call I guess a mobile guru these days. I mean,
Yes, sir.
Where are some of the places that you've traveled to in your pitching lessons?
Well, I'm based out of Houston, Texas, but I run my business from Laredo to Highland Park, Texas, San Antonio, East Coast, West Coast, Central America. You know, statistic-wise, it's more hitting guys in the world than it is pitching. And then, too, one thing about pitching, you have to have proper mechanics, throwing mechanics in 8 other positions that you play.
You know, I was watching, I don't know if you've seen this, there's it's a real cool documentary about Nolan Ryan called
Yes.
Express.
Okay.
And Nolan Ryan, Hall of Fame pitcher,
Yeah.
said he never had a pitching coach until he got to the big leagues, not even the pros.
Yeah.
It's really an underestimated lost art form. How important is it to have a good quality pitching coach?
It's very important. What to me, and when it relates to pitching kind of takes the stepchild approach to me because for one, it's so many connecting dots to pitching, and pitching one of the hardest positions to teach. But and just by following Nolan Ryan in his career, as you notice in a lot of his videos and a lot of his pictures that you may see of him, his arm is up. So when the elbow is slightly above the armpit, you're able to create more of a downward angle. So that's going to be less here on that labrum and that rotator cuff. That's why he was able to throw so hard and be really, really effective.
So you teach and preach longevity, proper mechanics
Yes.
in order for you to have a long, sustainable career.
Yes, yes, sir.
And a lot of pro guys are now leaning on you as well. You know,
Yes.
Carl Edwards Jr. is
Yes.
a guy who I also read that he hadn't had a pitching coach until he basically got to the big leagues, and he needs, even guys like that who are developmentally gifted,
Yes.
they still need help.
Exactly, because it's funny when you brought up Carl, and we talk about when the Cubs won the World Series, and I think in 2016, and you remember when he got the first 2 outs and couldn't get the last one. When I met him last year this time, I told him that in his balance point, he was out of sync, and I was telling him, if you're throwing 60 foot 6 inches, think about releasing the baseball at 55 feet. So the more distance I cut down equals velocity. And now, right now, we had a good, we good so far. Had a good spring. We worked on his arm angle on the backside, worked on him getting out front and just being more effective. And we also, too, we put in a slider this offseason as well.
And you work with a lot of people. You had success at the college ranks, professional ranks.
Yes.
Here in Birmingham. Birmingham is your home.
Yeah.
What's it like for you to kind of go out and represent Birmingham as far as pitching? People don't think about Alabama as a pitching state. They think about Hank Aaron, they think about Willie Mays and all those guys, but you're showing people that pitching can come from here too.
Yes, man, it's a blessing to be here, be from Birmingham, Alabama, and just wanted to be different because I was an inner city kid from West End High School, went to Wallace State for 2 years, and like most good coaches was taught well. And a lot of kids have to understand it's all about, you can get so many guys that have played in the big leagues, played Division I, but if you're not able to translate what you're saying verbally to an 8-year-old, to a big leaguer, he's not going to be able to feel what you're saying physically and do that in a game setting. It's just a different it's a different feel. Like a lot of times when kids throw. You remember when we used to go out and throw rocks? Mm-hmm. But it's not how tight you throw the rock. It's how fluid. And when you talk about mechanics, Tom Brady, he's about 39, 40, 41, 42. But if you watch his mechanics, when he throw that football, elbow above his armpit, and he throwing the football downhill. That's why he could still play with any of those other 31 teams that's out there.
You know, he was a catcher.
Wow.
He was a catcher for the Expos.
Wow.
And he would have come up, but he came with like 94 strike year.
Oh, nice.
So Tom Brady
Nice.
said, let me focus on my baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, on football.
Hey, D, I just want to let you know it's on one battery. I just want to let you know in case we have to go run and get a battery, pause it.
This is my last question
Great,
here.
go for it.
You could not have done it any better because with this question, I was going to break it up. So right here, I want you to look right here in this camera. I know you don't give free pitching lessons. Matter of fact, let me come over here with you. I know you do not. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Are we good? Okay. I know you don't give free pitching lessons, but I need a favor.
Okay.
Ben Hoover is going to be throwing out the first pitch on Jackie Robinson night, Channel 42 night
Yes.
at Regents Field. I think he's a little worried about the arm. Can you just give him some advice and tell him what he needs to do to make a great first pitch for that game?
Ben, get you some bands from Dick's Sporting Good and connect your bands to a fence. Work on your motion, your rotator cuff, and work on getting the baseball out front. And just breaking your hands and releasing the ball out in front of your face, and you would throw a strike.
And a little prayer won't hurt either. You got it from the guru himself, Ben. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Cool, man. I appreciate you, man.
Okay, D, appreciate
Thanks,
you.
man. Yeah,
okay.
man.
Yes, sir.
No problem.